awards are coming up on January 30th, 2023. So I thought this would be a great time for me to share some of my predictions of who I think might win the award this year. Now, I'm not going to share all of my predictions with you because a lot of the books that I chose, I already shared in my video all about my favorite books from 2022, and I'll leave a link to that video right here, and I'll also leave a link to the video as well as the blog post in the description box down below. The blog post will have all of the books that I have chosen that I think could win the Caldecott Award this year. Now, if you're not familiar with this award, each year an author with a picture book with the best illustrations is chosen to win this award. It is chosen by the American Library Association, and it's not just which pictures are the best. There is some criteria that goes into it, and that includes 1, how well is the art executed? Basically, is it good art? Number 2, how well does the art match the story? Are the illustrations a good fit for the tone of the book? Number 3, is the artwork important to the story? Does it give additional insights, details, or information that was not included in the text? And lastly, number 3, and perhaps most importantly, does it appeal to children? So using those 3 criteria, that is how an author is chosen to win the Caldecott Award. Now, this is also a neat activity to do with your own students. So I'm gonna give you a freebie, and I'll leave that link down in the description box below, where you can host your own Mock Caldecott Award ceremony with your class. You can preview some of the books that I've chosen or other books that were released in 2022 that you and your students think could win this award. And again, I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below, where you can have this ceremony with your students in your classroom. And then on January 30th, you can watch with your students to see who actually wins the award, who the American Library Association chooses. And I'll make sure to post it on my Instagram as well, so that you can see right away for yourselves and share with your students. Now, let's get into some of those books. The first one that I have is called Witch Hazel. And this one is actually written and illustrated by a former Caldecott honoree, so it could be really high up in the running for winning this year as well. In this story, something magical happens when Hazel and Hilda are together. As the seasons pass, Hazel's broom whisks the memories off the steps, and young Hilda sees these memories come to life. But is it magic making the memories, or the memories making the magic? And the illustrations in this one are so interesting and really bring the story to life in this one. Definitely a contender for the Caldecott Award for 2023. Now, this next one is a really fun one, and I found myself connecting to it as I read it. It's called Hot Dog, and there are very few words in this book, but it's really the artwork that brings the story to life and really pulls you in and helps you feel what this poor little dog is feeling. So at the beginning of the story, it is summertime and it is hot, and he lives in the middle of the city. And you know how when you're hot and sweaty and just everything starts to irritate you? That's exactly how he's feeling. All the noises and everything just starts to sound too loud, and everything's too crowded, and he's hot and he just wants to get away. He just plops down in the middle of the road and refuses to walk anymore. So his owner realizes that he needs a break from the city. She takes him to a beach where he can run wild and free and feel the breeze and relax and feel cool. And he just enjoys this day, and then at the end, as the sun is setting, he realizes he's starting to miss his home. He's starting to miss the city. He was really glad for that escape for just a day. But what I really like about this one, as I mentioned, was that you can just feel the emotions coming off of the page of how this dog feels. How he feels overwhelmed and overstimulated by the heat and the noise and the people, and how relaxed he feels once he gets to the beach. And maybe it's because I'm a beach person, but I totally understood how he felt. He was in his own space and feeling the waves and hearing the ocean, and how calming that is. Another great book from 2022 that could definitely win the Caldecott Award. The next one that I have is called The Sun Is Also The sun is late and so is the farmer. Yes, I got it that time. The sun is late and so is the farmer. And this is by the same author as A Sick Day for Amos McGee, which is one of my favorite books. In the story, a mule, a milk cow, and a miniature horse are realizing that the sun is late to rise this morning, and they're not really sure what to do about that. So they consult the barn owl, who always seems to know what to do. And they take Rooster and they set off on a journey. They journey farther than they've ever gone before, through the acres of tall corn, past the sleeping giant, all the way to the edge of the world. And the illustrations in this book really bring to life the curiosities of this trio of animals and their quest to figure out why the sun isn't rising. And it just has this kind of calming effect, this blue color you see throughout the story, and the corn, it's almost this golden color and pops off the page, helping you feel part of their journey as they're trying to figure out why the sun isn't rising. Another great book that could win the Caldecott Award this year. Another book that I have that has some powerful illustrations is called Carry Me Back, The Town That Walked. And in the story, the Civil War is over and slavery has ended, but for the Black residents of Walkerton, Georgia, life is still miserable. So in this story, Rutilla Redgums and her grandson Julius teach the citizens of this town how to make all sorts of things that people can't live without. And the white people in this town just can't get enough, but some are not so happy. And when a hooded mob threatens to burn down the town, Rutilla and Julius work to protect Walkerton and its people. And the cinematic illustrations in this story have such a powerful effect on portraying the Black endurance during this time and bringing to life African-American storytelling. A book with not only amazing illustrations, but a powerful story to share with your students as well. This next one I have is a sweet tale from the creators of Ocean Meets Sky and The Night Gardener. Now, it's a little out of fashion to own a pet cloud, but Lizzy doesn't mind, and she doesn't want anything big or fancy. She just wants a plain and simple one. She wants one that's just right for her, and she finds one and she names it Milo. And Milo comes with instructions on how to take care of him, and she waters him and she takes him for walks, and he grows and grows and grows until what happens if he's grown too much? What should Lizzy do when her cloud gets too big? Now, the mostly gray or black and white illustrations in the story have pops of yellow throughout. It's such a calming effect and really brings the story to life in Lizzy and the Cloud, another contender for Caldecott Award 2023. The next one I have is called Snow Angel, Sand Angel. In this story, Claire lives in Hawaii and has been surrounded by the clear blue water all her life, but she has never ever seen snow. So one day, her father drives the family up to the top of Mauna Kea, and there's snow, but Claire's awfully disappointed. It's not the winter wonderland that she's dreamed of, that she's wanted more than anything. But Claire wonders if maybe, just maybe, she can delight in the joys of winter in her own way, in the middle of Hawaii. And in the back matter, it gives information about the environmental culture of Hawaii and how important it is to be taking care of our environment. But I think the colors of this story that really pop off the pages and the illustrations in the story are what make it a contender for the Caldecott Award for 2023. And the last book that I have from Mock Caldecott for this year is The Year We Learned to Fly. And on a dreary, stuck inside kind of day, a brother and sister take their grandmother's advice. She says to use those beautiful, brilliant minds of yours and believe in a thing. And then their imaginations take them up and away and out of their boredom. And the beautiful illustrations in this book really bring those imaginations to life. You can picture yourself being part of that journey with them and imagining a better world. Now, those are just a few of my Caldecott predictions for 2023. A few of the other books that I think could win the Caldecott Award this year include Over and Under the Waves, Barry's Song, Farmhouse, Love in the Library, Gibberish, The World Belonged to Us, Night Owl, and We Wait for the Sun. Again, all of those books I've shared on this channel before, and I will leave a link down